I sure am.
Okay. Well, let's get to the point. Did your company ever experiment with dynamic pricing?
No, not the way you mean dynamic pricing. So let me, we have not done anything where we've priced based on demographics. What we did was a completely random price test, in this case of about 68 DVDs, and they were either 30, 35, 35, or 40% off, but it was completely random. What we think even that...
What were you trying to find out?
We were trying to find out if we could increase sales if we lowered prices. So we're trying to do sort of price elasticity and understand the shape of the demand curve.
So were you at all either matching at that time or intending to match your knowledge of specific customers to that elasticity?
No, we were not. And I can't say that more clearly. What we were doing, contrary to some reports out there, was completely random. And by the way, 2 weeks ago, we decided that even that was a mistake based on feedback we got from customers, because we really want customers to be able to have certainty when they shop at Amazon.com. We want to simplify their lives, not complicate them, and we think that even that kind of random testing under our old policy was a mistake, and we apologize for it.
Okay, I'm just going to get that in the simplest and straightest way, because I think you want me to do this.
Yeah.
And that is, were you trying to find out things about independent customers?
No, we absolutely were not trying to do anything about individual customers. This was a random price test just designed to see whether or not lowering prices would increase sales and by how much. That's all it was. And even that we genuinely believe was a mistake, which is why we changed our price testing policy 2 weeks ago. So we don't want...
Why were you ever, if there hadn't been the outroar, what's the use of doing it randomly if you don't, after the fact, match what you get to customer profile?
Because what you would decide to do is, if you're doing a random test like that, is you would decide to make all your top 100 DVDs either 30, 35, or 40% off. And you would do that for everybody. You're just trying to decide whether you should do it at 30, 35, or 40. And that, by the way, is not dissimilar to what magazines do when they test different subscription prices and so on and so on. The reason, so this is broadly done by a bunch of different companies. The reason we think it's wrong for us to do it is because it would, we want people to have that kind of certainty when they shop at Amazon.com that they don't have to worry whether they're getting the lowest price.
So what guarantees do people have that, that at some point in the future now you won't, take your pricing information and because you have a unique customer base and unique customer information?
We are, sorry, something just fell on the floor. Could you ask me that again?
So I'll ask you the question again.
Okay.
Jeff. What guarantees are there, if it's not you, then for anybody, that the kind of information that e-retailers can collect can't be used this way because the technology exists?
If any retailer does this, it's going to be incredibly transparent, it's going to infuriate customers, and it's going to be terrible business. And I will tell you, we're not going to do it.
But how does this, in light of what happened with your announcement, I guess, in early September, about how you considered your customer base part of the asset of the company and something that could be sold, what are the guarantees worth?
Well, it is very clear that, in terms of the customer list and those kinds of things, if you sell a business, you have to be able to sell your customer list with the business. If ABC were ever sold, your list of advertisers would have to go along with ABC, or the company wouldn't be worth anything. That's very similar to magazine subscriptions, et cetera, et cetera. There's really nothing new there.
Except that you had a privacy policy that protected people if, and the information you said would only be used by yourself. So there has been a change.
Actually, that's factually incorrect. The privacy policy, our old privacy policy is completely consistent in that way with our new privacy policy. And what we did, I think, is something that most of our customers recognize as a good thing, which is we made our new privacy policy incredibly public. We're the first internet company to do that. We issued a press release and we emailed it to our millions of customers. We really wanted people to know. So, the usual web practice is just to sort of change these things on the website.
Is this, though, let's get back to the issue of dynamic pricing for a second. Is this in some ways the holy grail of online retailing?
No, it's not. It's bad business. If anybody changes prices and tries to charge wealthy people more or whatever it is they might try to do, that is just bad business. People are going to know, it's going to be incredibly transparent, and it's going to increase the uncertainty that customers have, and the customers are going to flee that company. It'd be a terrible decision. And let me make clear, we've never done that. We have never done that, and we won't do it.
Why did you feel it was, you mentioned that this is sort of typical for any company to try to, figure out what the basic price level is. You've been in business for a long time. Why did you feel the need to even do the random price changes?
Well, this is something that was just done recently in our DVD store, and it was a high-profile test, and that I think is what has created these questions. And I think that one of the things that people wonder about, because they do know that it's possible to do the demographic link up, is they want to know whether or not that's happening. And so one of the things I'm trying to do is make it clear that that's not what's happening. Now, I also really want to make it clear that we even think the totally random price testing is a mistake. I think what we did, even though it's not what some people report that we did, I think that what we did is dumb, dumb, dumb. I do. And we're not going to do it anymore in the same way.
Why didn't you tell people that you were doing it? So that, if you go into a store, you see a sale price, at least they advertise there's a sale price. Why didn't you tell people?
If you tell people that you're doing a test, then they behave differently. You can't actually inform people that they're the subject of a test while the test is going on, or you get bad test results. So it's actually better not to do the test the way we did it. Our new test policy, I think, is a very strong one. And basically, we're going to make sure that at the end of the test, every customer gets the lowest price. And we're not ever going to do any testing related to demographics. Full stop.
Okay. Are you sure you did it in the first place?
Yes. I wish we had never done it. It's a mistake, and our customers told us it was a mistake 2 weeks ago when we changed our policy, and we regret having done it. But it's not demographics.
Okay. All right, Jeff. Thank you. We're just going to get...
Okay, Kevin, we'll feed it away.
Thanks for clearing the time.
Kevin, my pleasure. Thank you. Yeah. Tell Richard I hope I still get to come to dinner.
We'll see if you want to come after tonight. Right? All right, bye.
Bye-bye.